Michael Wang.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for inviting me. My name is Michael Wang. I'm the managing attorney of Wilner & Riley Immigration Attorneys. We are a national immigration law firm here in Sacramento, but our main office is in Orange County. We have offices all over California, Salt Lake, Phoenix, Boise, pretty much anywhere in the Western United States. We handle clients all over the United States. We handle all aspects of immigration, including family-based immigration, transactional. We help companies bring workers over to the United States. And recently, unfortunately, we've been doing a lot of removal defense, right? People that are being deported, people are being detained. We've been filing writ of habeas corpus to get people that help people out that are being unlawfully detained, and we've been doing a lot of asylums in court. So that's been my last year and a half. It's been a lot of removal defense. So Wilner & Riley Immigration Lawyers, thank you.
If you guys have global business or need a speaker at your association, he does speak very well or lunch and learn, and he's like the most well sought after questionnaires and stuff by the members, so the best. And we have Mr. AMPI.
Hi, well, thanks for inviting me, everyone. How many people here have ever been to Mexico? AMPI is the Mexican version of NAR. So I'm going to come here and talk to you a little bit about how that partnership can benefit you. How many people here know anyone that's bought a property or is thinking about buying a property in Mexico? How many of you, by a show of hands, would like to have been paid for that transaction? Well, that's what we're here to talk about. I mean, we all run businesses. We all have to maintain our lifestyle. We are trying to improve our families. And tonight I'm going to tell you about how you can partner with someone that will successfully take care of your clients if they're set on buying in Mexico. And we'll talk a little bit about how special La Paz is as well. So thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Narendra.
Good evening all. We have our own Anthony here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anthony Nunez, and I'm with Home Warranty of America. Great turnout. Last year was a great turnout as well. Thank you for having us back this year. Please feel free to stop by. I've got some complimentary sign writers for you, some door hangers for the neighborhood that you can put your business card in, along with some brochures. We've also got a great raffle item, Frank Family Wine and Ron Bauer Wine as well. I heard a rumor that realtors like to partake. So we've got you covered. We've got you covered here with the wine. We've got you covered with the home warranty as well. So
Anthony, I think they needed the wine with their dinner.
we should have raffled it off sooner.
Open the wine.
Yes. One of the trademarks of HWA, Home Warranty of America, is we define a year not as 12 months, but as 13 months. So when you get a home warranty with us, you're covered, your client's covered for 13 months. So a lot more to chat about. Please feel free to stop by. I'd love to meet you, especially if you're not from the Sacramento area. And again, thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
Next we have Dora and Greta here.
And Joe. Oh, do you leave? Hi, we're from Golden One Credit Union, and we're part of the home loan department. And we just hope that you can come by and see what we have to offer. We do have a lot of great programs for first-time home buyers or just anybody that wants to move up in a property. Our niche product is a jumbo loan. We are in the market. We have lower rates than our conforming loan when it comes to jumbos. So I know there's a lot of people from the southern part of California. This is in the Bay Area. This is a very good product. Come out, see us. We'll give you more information. And we've got some of the lowest fees through the state of California. It is a myth that you have to be a member to get pre-approved. That's not true. Just come and see us and we'll give you all the information. I'm gonna have my colleague Greta say hi too.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here tonight, and yeah, come by our table and learn about everything that we have tons of programs to offer. So like she said, you don't have to be a member to come in to do along with us. Yeah, so come on by. Thank you. Thank you.
Next we have from Nora, Sal here.
Let me put my other hat on real quick. So what I want to do is invite you guys all to come out this Thursday for our Tacos and Tequila event. If you're wondering what Nora is, I'd rather just tell you what we're doing. And last week we were able to give away $70,000 in conjunction. So Nora is very much about our community and giving away money. So come by and support one of our events where we raise that money.
Thank you.
Okay, now my other hat. I'm with Absolute Mortgage. It's me and Alejandra. And we had such a great time last year at this event that we had to come again. And we're over here just promoting our business and a lot of the loan products that we do over here. So come and visit our booth, get some candy, and register for a few of our gift cards.
Alejandra Torres with Absolute Mortgage, and we are offering 4 gift cards of $50 each, so come and register.
So we're having 4 plus 3, so 7, so you must be present to win.
Can I take a couple minutes to thank some of our food sponsor, restaurant entrepreneur that are here, actually in the back still cooking.
Hi everybody, I'm Sylviana, but I have with me Amy, Gabby, and we are with
Los Lugares.
Orale Cantina, and they are both here in Sacramento, and both of the restaurants are amazing. You can find Amy at
7150 Arbor Boulevard, Citrus Heights.
and she's the sponsor of all that you see over there, and Gabby is at
3701 Stockton Boulevard, South Sacramento.
and she brought all of your drinks, and so they would like to thank you for having the opportunity to come and sponsor.
Also, I know the sign was gonna be up. Our boba sponsors, Miss Ann Liu, thank you very much.
Hi guys, nice to see everyone again. My name is Ann Liu. I'm just starting my catering part of my business. So if you guys need lunch catering, if you guys want the WCR installation, we cater that event too. So we do anything from Asian to American to Italian. I'll be rolling out my ramen bar and pho bar catering for the winter. We're gonna have matcha bar catering and coffee bar catering too, so feel free to reach out.
You know your boba is a big hit. See that it's empty. And then last but not least, that's in the house, Mr. Peter Fong with Chasen's and Hook and Reel.
Well, you just like to put me on the spot. Hello, everybody. Good evening. The only thing
They
we can say
wanted
is,
more Jamba.
I know, yeah. We didn't know that there was so many people, but next year for sure we'll provide extra. Other than that, we would like to say we are opening a new location here in Folsom City, so hopefully you guys follow us and visit us. Yes, but thank you, everybody. Everybody enjoy.
Thank you. And you guys look on the screen, some of our sponsors, really fast, Marisol. We got Chicken 65 donated by Narinder, thank you. Wing Fat Market donated the roast pig. And then we have already announced those. And then Buddha Bar and Rolls is next to Buckhorn's Grill. It's only 2 blocks from the convention center. And if you guys take this coupon, bring your CRR badge, you'll get extra discounts for lunch or dinner. So the address is on here. So if you bring your CRR badge, you will get a discount with your meal. And then we got, who else? Summer Nights, Maricel. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so Summer Nights, it's Iraqi restaurant right on 1 Avenue. This is the 2nd year they sponsor us, so very great food, Arabic food. So yes,
Thank you.
They're over at Howe Avenue.
And then I donated Portfolio Real Estate some Asian foods because I know there was a lot of people, so I added in more food for you guys. Chip O'Neill, one of our global committee, he donated the Thai food, so thank you very much. And Gordon Fusions, Cubans, that was a big hit. We need more Cuban sandwiches is what I heard.
For sure.
So thank you all for coming. We try to make it an international cuisine that you can have a taste of everything. Thank you all for coming to our Global Summit. Back to you, Ms. Marisol.
Thank you so much, Sam, for helping out. And thank you to all our sponsors. Without your partnership and support, this couldn't be possible. Most of the food, as she said, it was donated. Last year, all the food was donated. So thank you so much. And now, make sure, once again, that to turn in your passport card. And it is very important to have it. You have to be present to win. And now, are you guys ready for our big speakers now? Yes. So it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Michael Falk. And Michael is a senior public policy economist at CAR, where he works closely with government affairs and research and economics to provide accurate, actionable data that supports realtor policy priorities. With a background in research and public policy, he specializes in analyzing market trends, conducting tax analysis, and delivering insights that help shape real estate decision-making across the state. Please join me in welcoming Michael.
Has good hairstyle.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So I originally got this invitation to do 15 minutes on global real estate, and I thought I can do that. And then I got 4 questions on Friday that were very complicated, so I put together 35 slides. And I was looking over them this weekend, and I think I could do it if I just talk really, really fast. And then I'll get through them all. But then I got it down to 12, so. We're gonna keep it kind of basic, so the next time that you're at a party and someone's asking you about global real estate, you'll have plenty to say to that person. So let's set the stage. You know, we all know that California has a lot of issues with housing right now, and a lot of that is due to inadequate supply of housing for the demand for people that want to live here. And that drives up prices, it makes it more expensive to buy a home, it creates a whole host of issues. Build the housing in California for, you know, people that want to live in California, but California is a really unique place because of its economic, its financial, its cultural position in the world. I think we overtook Japan as the 4th largest economy in the world. So some of the housing demand that we see in California is a global thing, and supply is local. And so what I want to kind of get through, or kind of talk through, is that mismatch between, you know, global demand and providing enough supply, which is something that affects the global market just as much as the domestic market. So this chart here, if you have a chance to look at it, we'll spend a little time on this. So this is the permits, residential permits that are issued by cities across the state per 1,000 residents. And I've broken it down into 4 different tiers. That green tier, 6 to 8 permits per 1,000, that's typically what you see when a town is booming. It's building a lot of housing, the town is growing, people are setting up businesses, people are starting families. That is a pace for a growing, booming place. If you're issuing 4 to 6 permits per 1,000, that's good. You can maintain that. It might get a little dicey in terms of price, but it's good, and you should be proud of it. That yellowish, that's low growth. That's towns that have kind of staying the same, that might, you know, the population might be leveling off. That's typically how much building you would do in those types of places. And then if you're in the red, if you're permitting nothing to 2 permits per 1,000 residents, that's underbuilding. That creates a whole lot of situations where you're not building enough housing for the people that want to live in that particular place. Now that black line is the United States, the permits that have been issued across the nation since 2000. You can see that there was a dip during the recession, but it has kind of gotten back into that healthy range, just barely. The red line is California, following national trends, but very far behind. Sticking in that low growth to underbuilding area for like the last 25 years. And I don't need to tell everybody here that California is not a place that is stagnating. It is not a place that people have lost interest in. It's a place that continues to be a vital economic and cultural center in the world, but we're building housing like, you know, I mean, I used to live in South Dakota, so you know, like a place like South Dakota. And we're not, you know, and I'm sorry. I really am. I actually feel pretty bad. Now, this chart is probably the most complicated chart I have, so I'm gonna go fast. What I want you to keep your eyes on are all those dots under that horizontal line. These are countries across the world. All those dots, if you're under that line, it means that you do not have enough housing for your population for things to be affordable. And you can see that the United States is way down there. You know, developed Europe is kind of down there too, but this is a worldwide problem. California, the United States, not alone. In the developed world, we are just not building enough housing. And you might see that France is way up. That, Cavi, you can't move to Paris. Everybody's moving to Paris. Villages are emptying out. That's kind of a weird outlier. But if you are like me and in 15 to 20 years you want to go to the south of France in a villa where no one will ever find you, this is really good news. And you want to keep looking at that. So just keep that in mind.
Perfect for me.
So in California, when we talk about, you know, foreign buyers, the global real estate market, the first question that I want to answer is, you know, who's coming here? Who's interested in buying here? You know, for the last couple decades, you know, buyers from China have been the largest cohort. You know, and you know, of all the Chinese buyers that buy in the United States, 36% of them are coming to California. That's a very significant share. And we'll talk about, you know, it's concentrated. This is a very interesting phenomenon in the sense that most of these purchases are happening in large coastal areas, and a lot of them are what we would call luxury purchases. And oftentimes, they're all cash purchases. And I've seen some researchers use an all-cash transaction as a proxy for a foreign buyer, but to me that's borderline reckless. So this might be undercounting it somewhat, but it's important to note that a lot of these foreign transactions are really happening in the luxury space. They're happening concentrated in coastal areas. And what this does, and they're mostly for ownership, not for rental. It's to own. You know, just think about it this way. In California, everyone wants to buy a house. We're not building any of them, so the price is going to go up. It's seen as a safe asset that will appreciate in value over time, especially in a place like, you know, LA and San Francisco. And so that's where it kind of skews. Now, what does this do to supply? It doesn't really do anything to supply, but what it does do is move the margins and price on those higher price segments. You know, so instead of, you know, like thinking of it in terms of like the supply is being taken away, it's just kind of being reshuffled. It's a little bit more competition up on that top end. So like I said, one reason, you know, I mean, we have strong property rights. These are seen as stable assets. I mean, even after the fires last January, 1 in 5 luxury purchases in LA were from foreign buyers. It's still seen as, you know, a safe, reliable transaction. You have proximity to not only just great universities, but a lot of, you know, economic potential in the Silicon Valley. I mean, the Silicon Valley is historically has generated more money and more capital than, I mean, anywhere on earth. I mean, you know, at any time. So, you know, that level of innovation, that level of opportunity is a tremendous, you know, draw to people around the world. And like I said earlier, the scarcity of housing, the fact that we are not building enough, if you think back to that first slide, will keep values up. Because if there's not enough supply and demand being what it is, the prices are going to go up. So when you think about it, California, we're at this interesting intersection. A lot of global wealth, a lot of global capital, education, but a very limited housing supply. So what does that demand look like? I mean, mostly in coastal and high-end markets, from everything that I've read, it's mostly for existing homes and to own. You know, I've read anecdotally that in places like LA, Measure ULA, the mansion tax may have started cooling some of this growth. I haven't seen anything, you know, too hard to support that yet, but I am hearing that now. So, you know, proposals like that are something to keep an eye on. That might cool foreign demand. You know, but it's not a supply increasing mechanism. There are some programs that, you know, can bring in more foreign investment, but compared to the responsibility that we have in our own state to build housing, it's a little bit smaller, and it's about 2% of sales, overall each year. But again, California's so big, it's so different. When you have these different concentrations, it's going to look a lot different in different places. Now, this is something I want to draw attention to. Global stock markets, global, trading indices. Stock market and wealth generated from stocks and these things are a huge indicator of luxury home sales. I did some research where it actually, and I'll show you in the next slide, but when the S&P is rocking, so are luxury home sales. They follow each other. And so if you're looking for a signal among all this noise, because I'm sure you're just reading the news every day and it's like, that's how I feel. But a signal of what would be driving foreign demand is to look at these foreign indices. And this is stock indices since the war in Iran began. In Europe, UK, Japan, and they really went down because of all of the uncertainty that was created as a result of that conflict. So when I see that, I think to myself, that is probably going to lead to cooling demand from foreign buyers, just because that level of uncertainty, people look at their accounts and they don't look as good as they did 2 weeks ago. That can create a lot of cooling of demand. And so this is what I wanted to show you. That red line is the year-over-year performance of the S&P 500. And all those other lines are luxury home sales starting at 2 million and up. And when the S&P is doing good, luxury home sales follow. And in the Bay Area, I did a lot of research and I found that it was even statistically significant. So controlling for everything I could think of. When the S&P's rocking, luxury home sales follow. So if you wanted an indicator, a market indicator of where foreign demand might be, paying attention to the stock market, not just here, but across different countries, I think is it might get you a little bit of a head start. So, like I said earlier, we're at this interesting intersection. A lot of folks from overseas are choosing California. These are the percentage of foreign buyers who chose California. And then next to it, I put a little, ranking, like the top percentages throughout. So this is from NAR. China, like I said, was 36%. That's first. The UK was second, with 18% of their buyers came to California. Mexico was 17%, that's second. Of all buyers, it was 15%, that was second. I think Florida was first. If someone can explain that to me, I'm all ears. Even my dad wants to go there, and I just can't understand it. But, and then India was 13%, that's first, and then Canada was 9%, and that's third. And a lot of those purchases, especially from Canada, those are like second homes, retirees. They don't want to be up in Canada, and they're coming down where it's a little nicer. And so, but that also feeds into that luxury, buying to own, buying a nice spot. And this chart shows where, right now, this is really up to date actually. This is, Realtor.com looks at where internet traffic is searching for listings, from overseas. So it's basically like a heat map, And again, Florida, but New York, California, Chicago, and parts of Texas. I think that the New York and California thing explains itself. Those are like, the top destinations in the country. Places like Chicago with the schools, a lot of folks might be buying when their kids go to school around there. But yeah, so LA was third with 5% of all traffic, and Riverside, interestingly, was 12. San Diego 19th, and then San Francisco 20th. And you know, I found the Riverside example to be especially interesting because it shows that the lack of supply in LA and the high prices in LA, that demand is starting to become more diffuse even among foreign buyers. They're expanding the scope now because LA is so cost prohibitive that I think that has to be explaining why that was up, because 5 years ago it wasn't even on this chart. So as more and more places in California become more unaffordable, oh man, 20 seconds, you're gonna see that demand, you know, it's gonna become more diffuse, and it's gonna come to more and more places because California is not gonna lose its luster, it's not gonna lose its draw. So I think you are going to see slowly over time, like a wave coming out from those large coastal areas where it's currently concentrated. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's already starting to happen anecdotally around here. All right, so this is where I'll end it. And in the interest of time, you save all your questions for me until after I leave. So global capital is running into our limited supply, and it's creating these interesting conditions where, you know, you see that demand diffusing, you see a lot of, you know, competition in the luxury sector. But again, the housing supply shortage we have is structural. It is not driven or really even made, you know, worse by this demand. It's our messy bed, and we're sleeping in it. And it's going to have, you know, a lot of the solutions are going to have to come from us. I know that there are a lot of Japanese firms that are buying up American construction companies right now, which is, I think, a long-term thing to keep an eye on. But that's something you can ask me after I leave. And then, you know, global capital shapes demand. When those indices are doing really well, you can expect to see more luxury purchases and more all-cash purchases. So that's a signal among the noise that you can take home with you. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, you know, foreign buyers are just coming in and competing for existing homes. And most of those homes are still at the higher end or second homes. So that's pretty much global real estate in 15 minutes with California focus.
Does anybody have any questions for Michael? I know, he hasn't left, that's why I'm catching him.
Are these foreign buyers using these properties to rent or to live in?
Mostly to live in. You know, there is some institutional investing into, you know, for rental properties, but that's generally a domestic thing. And it's not really happening in California like it used to be, or like it is in the Sun Belt or the South right now. So it's still mostly to own. Yeah.
You guys have questions, raise your hand.
How you doing? Are they buying income property and do they care about cap rates, or do they care about being by the ocean?
Well, I think that would depend. Well, you know, I mean, like I said, a lot of these purchases are all cash purchases, and you know, they're trying to bypass high rates that way. But I think that there are a lot of people that just want to be by the ocean, you know, and they've worked really hard and they have the means, and it's nice in California if you can do that.
Hello. Thank you. I'm here.
Oh.
Just wanted to know, you talked about stock market. I was wondering if crypto also has a big role in the amount of cash that's used to buy property. And then wanted to know how today's foreign investor or investment percentage like kind of compares to the times of financial crisis where there were so many coming to the United States to invest. Thank you.
Yeah, it's true that after the 08 and the financial crisis, there was a large influx because, you know, prices were so low, and like I said earlier, you know, we're not really building too much, so if you can get in at a lower price, it's a stable asset that is going to pay dividends down the line. As to crypto, I haven't seen very much data that I would trust right now about how much it's driving, foreign home buyers buying homes. So I can't really speak to that in a way that I would feel authoritative to me. Sorry.
Any other questions?
So is your dad following Sergey Page, the billionaire tax escapee to Miami? Is that it? And
No, but
are you seeing any impact on the billionaire tax
Yes.
and people realizing that once the billionaires are gone, it's going to affect all of us millionaires?
I think that is actually really being watched closely. Yes, like if that, yeah, I don't think that that's a negligible thing. At least that's what I've read, and that's more anecdotal, but it's a real thing. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, have you guys been tracking any new data since March, since the war started? Are we receiving any, I guess I would say, asylum from some of the Middle East residents moving back to their own home country, or even coming looking for a more stable location to reside in?
I've wondered about that, and I've asked some agents in LA where I am about it, but I haven't heard too much definitive, information yet about that. But I am interested in that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.